Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Letitia and this is That's So Letitia. For today's video, you guessed it, definitely if you read the title, we are doing another foundation demo review wear test. This one today just so happens to be on Gucci's newest foundation. I promise y'all I'm not about to butcher the name, so I'm not even gonna attempt. I'm just gonna show y'all the bottle. So this is Gucci's newest foundation. It is a natural finish foundation, available in 40 shades. It is vegan, animal cruelty free. This one states that it gives you a natural finish. It is suitable for all skin types, lightweight and long wearing. It's buildable. It has an innovative soft focus powder technology which transforms the texture for effortless and precise application. And it says it has adjustable results. Apply using the fingertip to achieve a light coverage with a subtle blur and a silky smooth finish. Continue to blend for full to medium coverage. Okay, so let's get into it. This guy here, like they state, it comes in 40 shades. This one has the traditional standard amount for many foundations, 1 fluid ounce of product. The container, it's pretty posh, it's pretty cute. Little frosted glass, it's heavyweight with the Gucci on the top. Has a pump, right? So it has a pump. And the shade that I am, I just like to kind of give my shade, you know, in case there's anybody out there like me who is looking for alternative foundations, but you know, the foundation sites that you kind of mix and match your shades in, it's either off or it doesn't have your particular foundation shade at all. So for context, in Born This Way, I can do, which is interesting, I can do either chai or chestnut. It kind of depends on if I have a tan, but for this, we'll say I'm chai. For Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, I am 480C. For Huda Faux Filter, I am 500G Mocha. And yeah, so in this one, I am 410W. W, I'm assuming, stands for warm. So because I have a few errands to run today, I'm literally going to go outdoors wearing this foundation. I'm going to first start with my sunscreen. And this is by Black Girl Sunscreen, SPF 30. You don't need a lot. Just that bit there. And for my primer, I'm going to be using Huda Beauty's. This is their pre-makeup base Complexion Perfection. Now the Gucci one actually does have a primer that goes with it. I did not pick that one up, and just because I recently retired one primer and started using Huda Beauty's, and I just didn't want to purchase another primer. The primers that I have so far, they work fine. I didn't feel the need to jump out there and purchase another primer that I may not even, you know, be compatible with, that I may not even enjoy using. So now that our skin is nice and glazed looking, I'm going to use some Laura Mercier Honey Translucent Powder just under my foundation per usual. I'm going to apply this one actually using my brush. I remember back in the day, like my aunt used to apply, like, I don't want to date myself, but she used to apply my Jane Cosmetics foundation using her finger, just to kind of warm the product up. And I kind of think that was before the onset or the popularity of using makeup brushes. Everybody was kind of using those old school makeup sponges that absorb like 99% of the product, you know, before it even touched your skin. So I really don't like using my finger. I just feel like it gets messy and it doesn't apply evenly the way I would like it to. So for that reason, I am going to apply it like I apply all my other foundations, using a foundation brush. So I'm going to start off with, let's do 1.5 pumps. Smell test. There is a smell. I don't know if you guys are gonna enjoy that, but yeah, it's a smell. It's not loud, it's not off-putting. It's a very kind of subtle, almost floral, powdery scent, but it's definitely one there. Yeah. So for all of you that like any sort of a hint of a fragrance in your foundation or your makeup, you guys might want to, you know, purchase this one in store just so you can kind of use the tester to smell it before you actually invest in it. It's not necessarily cheap. This one was $68. You know, again, I would definitely suggest, if you are sensitive to fragrances, visit Sephora, Nordstrom, or wherever, you know, in your area they may sell this foundation, just so you can kind of get familiar with the smell before you purchase it. I will say this, it's not as prominent of a scent as the Huda Beauty original formula foundation is, though. It's much more subtle. Okay, and this is the texture. So it is not runny, it's not loose. And let's start our application. Put a little bit on my brush. Wow. Okay, come on, Gucci. I like it. I like that. It looks so natural. It looks very subtle. Almost as if you're not wearing anything. It doesn't feel heavy. Like the wear for this one is giving Uma Beauty their Say What weightless foundation. It's giving that. It's giving coverage, but it's still your skin, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's giving a little Zoeva foundation, which is another one that gives you coverage, but you still know it's your skin. I like this. Okay, so let me just finish this up. Okay, so I have it on. I like it. I don't know if it's because of my hair, you know, my hair being so different, but it's giving me full on just glow, like golden time of the day glow. So I'm gonna see if I can tone that down just a bit, or maybe it's not even translating like that. Like when I watch it back later on my large screen, maybe it's just me. You know, I'm doing this like with no contacts in. So we're going to finish. So I am going to use Tarte Shape Tape in 53S under my eyes. Going to use a damp beauty sponge and just blend that in. And then I'm going to follow up using Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer, and this is in shade number 9. Just going to apply that to the under eye area as well, bringing it down just a tad bit. And here. Typically by this point, I'm like, let me do my brows off camera and I'll be back with you guys. But because this is a foundation wear test, I want you guys to see all the kit and caboodle, all the behind the scenes. So I'm going to let this dry down a little bit. I will, however, not be touching my brows right now. I typically let the concealer sit for about 2 minutes or so. We're gonna wait like 1 more minute, 1 more minute, 1 more minute, 1 more minute. I'm going to begin to blend this in using my brush by Sephora. This is number 56, I want to say. It started out a foundation brush, but to me it was a little too dense for a foundation brush, so I use it primarily for blending product in. And for my contoured areas, Juvia's Place again. This one is just in a deeper shade. It is in shade 6. And that's gonna go around the perimeter and the areas that I want to contour. So this is the brush I'm going to use just to kind of buff in the contoured shade. And now I'm going to set the concealer, well basically set my whole face, but we're going to start off with the highlight concealer. And for that I will be using, this is by Laura Mercier. It is in the shade Honey. However, I do a little mix and match. So I do honey, I do a little bit of honey and a little bit of deep, medium deep. So have it in top, using a damp beauty sponge. I'm just going to begin setting the foundation. And for setting the contoured areas, Fit Me by Maybelline, and this is in the shade, I call it deep, it's dark. Okay, so I'm just gonna put a little bit on my brush. And to complete the setting of my entire face, now for the portions that did not receive any sort of concealer, I'm going to be using a multi-purpose pressed powder, and this is by Too Faced, and it is in my foundation shade of Chai. Just going to apply it using a e.l.f., which brush is this, pointed powder brush. And I'm just going to very lightly apply product, tap off the excess, and I actually just go over my entire face very lightly. And lastly, I'm going to spray a little bit of Urban Decay's All Nighter Finishing Spray or Setting Spray. And without applying any additional product, the pointed powder brush, just going to take and help seal that product in while my face is damp from the setting spray. So like I said, I'm gonna do a wear test for you guys today. I have several errands to run, including doing a actual makeup look video. I will definitely place a link to that video once it's said and done in the description box if you guys want to come back and revisit that look. So first off, first impression thus far, I'm digging it. I actually really like it. It does have a soft blur effect to it. My face, again, does not feel heavy. It doesn't feel overwhelmed. I like it, and I feel like maybe it's just me. You know, maybe it was too early when I started because I thought initially it looked as though it had too much of a golden undertone for my face, but after kind of applying my powders and, you know, setting it, I feel like it's spot on. Okay, so the wear test begins now. Time is, I don't know if you guys can see it. I feel like my phone is not gonna let me be great in front of this ring light, but it's 12:45. Don't know if y'all can see that. You can see the 1, 2, and there's a 4, 5 behind that. So I am going to check back in with you guys later on this evening, 7:39 p.m. So that would have meant that I've had this foundation on for about 7 hours or so, which for me is a great amount of hours to test the foundation out and see if it's durable, if it transfers and all of that good stuff. I have not used any sort of blotting paper. I have not touched up my makeup at all. I have not used any additional setting powders, and this is where I'm at. It has a nice natural, kind of glow. It looks more skin-like now, looks a little bit more lived in. My final impression about this one, I was just telling my husband earlier, I'm like, am I really gonna eventually come across some makeup that I don't like? I don't know if that's the makeup hoarder in me or what, but if you want my honest criticism, like, this is a not, drugstore 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 dollar foundation. I honestly do not have any complaints. 1 fluid ounce, it has a pump on it. It has a extremely durable frosted glass container, which is, durable. It's very heavy. It can hold its own. I guess the only thing, like I stated earlier, is if you have sensitive skin, if you have any sort of, sensitivity, allergy, sensitive skin, you're just sensitive to smells in general, or you don't like your makeup to have fragrance in it, then this would not be for you. In terms of, the wear, I think it aged beautifully over these past 7.5 hours. It kind of gave me a little bit of a blur effect to my skin, even though I did not put much on. Like, I literally used that 1.5 pumps and it took care of my entire face. Plus I had a little bit left over on my hand. To me, that's a plus, because a price point, that high, you definitely want to be able to get, a nice amount of wears out of the product and not necessarily have to use so much per application. So yeah, did it transfer? A little bit, just a little, but it did transfer a little bit on my mask. That's life, right? Like, just use an additional layer of setting spray. This was not one of those foundations that was marketed solely based on it being transfer proof. It was marketed to be a natural finish, long wear, and that's exactly what it got me. I myself, I'm pretty satisfied with the coverage that it gave me. I'm definitely satisfied with the coverage it gave me. I'm satisfied with the shade ranges that they offer. 40 shades. Some are warm, cool, neutral. So you have, a broad spectrum of different shades and undertones to choose from. Price point, like I said earlier, every time you run out $68, or I think it was like 74 and some change with tax, can be a little bit much. So that is definitely something to keep in mind, when deciding if you are gonna step out and actually purchase this foundation. Guys, I enjoyed wearing it. I think it's gonna be one of those that I wear on a semi-regular basis when I do my makeup to actually go outside. The finish was so beautiful. Definitely when I first put it on, I couldn't stop looking in the mirror at myself, and that was before I had even done anything else to my face. Like I hadn't touched my eyebrows, no blush, no concealer, no lipstick. And that's another thing. That to me gave this foundation all the points. And what I mean by that is typically when I wear foundation, I don't care how exact the shade is to my complexion, it's like you can tell that I have on foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to bring the lines back in. I have to, you know, put the shadows back in. I have to hurry up and do my brows and do a little pressed powder just to kind of bring the balance back to my face. And when I put this one on earlier, I didn't feel the need to have to go through all of those extra steps because it looked so natural. It just looked as though the, you know, few blemishes that I have in my face, it concealed them for me, and it still allowed my face to look like my face. So that was amazing. And for $68 and getting those type of results, Gucci gonna be seeing some more money from me. I'm just saying. So that is all I have for you guys regarding this wear test. It's Letitia approved. It gets 2 thumbs up. So thank you guys for watching. And while we are at it, I told y'all I was doing this face for a new video. I'm gonna put it right up in here somewhere in the description box below. So go on ahead and click on it because I know y'all want to see what I did behind the scenes of getting this look. You guys have a great one, be well, and we shall chat again.